Hi, it's Chris. Going to do a very quick cider tasting for you. I'm going to try something I've wanted to try for a while. It's this guy, Gospel Green, Brut, 2016. This one. So something to say about this. This is method champenoise, but it's not, because it's not made in Champagne. So it's method traditional method. If you're not making it in Champagne, that basically means it's made in the Champagne style, which is all fermentation happens in bottle, all carbonation, if you like. So what you do when you make a Champagne style wine or cider is you basically you make a wine, with Champagne it's a white wine or several white wines, and blend them. Then you put them in the bottle, which with a dosage, so that's like sugar, and then it will re-ferment in the bottle. And you will, at the end of that process, you will leave it for X amount of time, and then you will do something called riddling, where you have these airframes that all the bottles go in. You've probably seen these things, and you twist them, and gradually as you twist them, they go from sort of like 90 degree, maybe a bit lower, to basically almost upside down, and all the lees and the dead yeast and so forth, which are in the bottom of the bottle, which the wine's been sitting on, which is imparted flavour, ends up in the neck. Then you freeze the neck, you freeze the solids that have ended up in the neck, you open it up, the carbonation forces that out, disgorgement it's called, that flies out. Then you add what's called, then you dose it again with some more sugar and some more wine, or cider in this case, bottle it again, and it goes through another carbonation in the bottle, and then you have your finished product. Complicated process. Goodness knows how they came up with it. But that's how you get to something which is basically Champagne style. If you see Champagne style, it's gone through 2 fermentations in bottle. You'll always see this cork on the top, this cage on the top. Something interesting to note is when these corks go in, they're just normal corks. It's the pressure, the physical pressure of what's in the bottle, that deforms the corks and make them into this mushroom shape. That's how much pressure you get in these things. And actually people weren't making sparkling drinks like this until the bottle technology existed to do so. And the bottle technology was actually developed in England for ciders and sparkling drinks in Britain, not for Champagne. What happened prior to that was sparkling wines were classed as flawed. They were full, because if you had lots of bottles in a cellar and one went off, you'd get a chain reaction and lose thousands of bottles of wine. Yeah. So it was only once the glass was invented to withstand those sorts of pressures that people could actually start making sparkling beverages in bottles. Anyway, I'm going to open this up. So this will use, it doesn't say, but it'll use Champagne yeast. When people see the term Champagne yeast, they often get excited and think, oh wow, it's going to taste amazing. It's just going to blow my head off. Like, let's wait and see. It's happened before. Nope, it's not going to. They think they get excited. Champagne yeast is actually very neutral yeast. It ferments dry and doesn't impart a lot of flavour. Okay, so it doesn't mean it's exciting just because it says Champagne on it. It's just a yeast, and it just makes things very dry, and it's kind of neutral. Okay, good sound. Okay, that sounded like a champagne, didn't it? Nice. Let's pour this out. See, so there you go. Big mousse on that. So just to talk about, compare it to, we've done some sparkling stuff like Keith ciders. They're bottled before the end of fermentation, and the end of fermentation happens in the bottles. I'm talking about things like Greg's Pit ciders here. So they have less sparkle because they have less sugar to turn into alcohol. These have a lot more because they're dosed twice, and etc. etc. So actually, pour a bit more in there now. To my tasting glass. So if you didn't know any better, you'd say that was a champagne. It's a bit sort of golden for a champagne. It's not as light as some champagnes. Sometimes you get champagnes with a bit of colour if they're made with Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier. But yeah, looks like cider in colour. It's beautiful, light gold, maybe a hint of pink about it, salmon pink. But yeah, smell it. So it does smell a bit brioche-y, yeasty. From sitting on the lees, you usually get that in champagnes and so forth, and sparkling wines. Certainly got some apple in there. aged and green apple, I would say. This is made with dessert apples, so this isn't made with cider apples. So culinary apples usually have less tannin, less sugar, less everything that you need to make good ciders. But because this has been treated differently over a longer period of time, one hopes that's added complexity that the ciders, the apples might have lacked. It smells nice, quite fresh, clean, a little bit pastry, but kind of malic as well, like green apple smell. Okay, so it says Brut on the bottle, which means dry, and it is dry, bone dry. You get a hint of aged apple about it, but no sugar whatsoever. Minerality, like lemon water, wet stone character. Hint of green apple as well, I want to say, just a hint possibly. Much more aggressive bubbles than in the sort of pet nat style. Minerality, lemon, mineral acidity, hint of aged apple. More pastry on the nose than on the palate. More brioche on the nose than the palate. It's nice. It's nice. Doesn't wow me. This isn't a cheap bottle of cider. I think I paid about 14 quid for it. So in terms of bang for buck, QPR, I'm not sure. I'll happily drink it all, absolutely. But I'm not sure it's bringing a lot of the flavour profile that I like in great ciders. I find it's a bit more austere. That's to do with the champagne yeast, I assume, and also not using cider apples, I assume. So I'm wondering if the champagne method brings enough to the party to offset those other characteristics or lack of. Not sure. I will drink it all though. If somebody gave me it, I'd be very happy, and I am going to drink all of this. I might have to share some with my wife. 8.4%, so it's into wine territory in terms of the alcohol now as well. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. That was interesting. I was going to do it for my notes. I've got lots of notes and lots of books on different ciders, so I thought I was going to taste it anyway. I may as well film it for you. So there you go. Anyway, that was Gospel Grain 2016 Brut. Thanks for watching. Cheers.